Welcome to Champlin Park High School for Northwest Suburban Conference Wrestling. It's an all-District 11 matchup here tonight. The Andover Huskies paying a visit here to Champlin Park. MJ Wilcox, it's youth night here at Champlin Park as well, and some of the young wrestlers for the Rebels just being introduced to the crowd, and it was kind of exciting to see they got their names called, to see the different things they did as they came out. We're early in this 2019-2020 season. As you saw, both teams have had two dual meets, with Andover going 1-1, a loss to Coon Rapids, and a victory over Elk River, which is their first win over the Elks in about 7 years. And for Champlin Park, they are 0-2, but you look at who they wrestled so far, not terribly surprising to be 0-2. They faced two ranked teams, 7th ranked Apple Valley and 12th ranked Anoka in their first duels. They had a tournament at last weekend over at Fridley and finished 9th. Andover, meanwhile, hosted their own tournament last Saturday, and they placed 4th behind Casson Manorville, Princeton, and Plainview Elgin Millville. Both teams are going to be in tournament action this coming Saturday as well, as Andover heads to Maple Grove, and Champlin Park will be at the St. Agnes tournament. So after this one, these teams not done for the week by any stretch, as they'll get right back into action and get plenty of matches going for themselves on Saturday. Andover has one ranked wrestler in their lineup, John Babineau, although it unfortunately doesn't sound like he's going to have an opponent tonight, as Champlin Park didn't have anybody that they felt could really match up with him, so he will not be wrestling this evening. He's off to a 5-0 start. The Huskies also have some pretty good strength up through the 170, 182, 195 grouping. And for Champlin Park, they got a couple of guys that they feel like, might eventually contend for placing pretty high in the section, and maybe, if everything rolls right, breaking through and getting through to the state tournament out of Section 7. Interesting, in a fair amount of sports, Section 7 is probably considered one of the weaker ones, but that is definitely not true in wrestling. Got a pretty strong grouping in Section 7, led by Forest Lake, but also some other really nice teams, including Anoka and Coon Rapids and Blaine, who are obviously from District 11 as well. So got a tough road to get to state through any of the weight classes in their section for both of these teams, but definitely a few guys that have that possibility, and a few guys who did it actually last year for Andover, including Babineau. He was 6th in the state tournament one season ago. The Huskies were out. They warmed up already on the main mat. Champlin Park was over in their wrestling room getting a little warm-up in, and they're getting set to emerge as the youth guys are going to welcome them out. But we'll get set for our matchup here tonight as the Huskies and the Rebels get set to do battle here on the mat. Northwest Suburban Wrestling is coming up in just a moment here on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
And welcome back here to Champlin Park, as teams being set to be introduced here to the crowd. As looks like we should have most of our matches tonight. There'll be a couple of open weights. Looks like at least coming in, one for each team that they're not able to fill this evening, but that's not bad by today's standards. There's a look at Bill Marish, the Rebels head coach. He was not the head coach in the very first year of the school open, but from then on, he has been the guy here at Champlin Park Wrestling, and he's upbeat about this group. I mean, like a lot of schools, they've had issues with low numbers a little bit the last few years, but trying to bounce back with that. And you see Rich Schlotfeld in his 3rd season with Andover, and he said that they've been, got a good group of kids, and that they're, really trying to build from that in their program, wanted to make sure that they're being good students, good citizens in the community and all of that, and that's what he wanted to really instill in this program and getting things going in the right direction. He said, from there, success on the mat hopefully will follow too. Neither team has been what you'd consider a wrestling power in recent years, but at the same time they've definitely produced some good wrestlers and are capable of winning some duels as well along the way. So should be a kind of an interesting one here this evening. A little bit of an edge probably experience-wise, I think, to Andover. And I would guess on paper you might consider them the favorite coming in, but there's definitely some opportunities for wins for the Rebels along the way as well. And some matches where, sometimes the fun ones are the ones where you don't have super experienced guys too, because they'll get after it a little bit and everybody, trying to pick up a win. I mean, obviously there's going to be some teams on each of their schedules, like they've already seen with teams like Anoka or Coon Rapids, that probably not going to win, as a duel for either of these programs, but you still, you learn from those matches. You figure out what it's like to go against some really good wrestlers, and you hope you get better from there. And that's what you're kind of looking for among your inexperienced guys, is guys who are eager to be out there, who are eager to get to work and put to use some of the things that they've been working on in the practice room, and see them grow a little bit. And that's fun for coaches too. I mean, obviously you'd like to have a team full of studs who might be in the state tournament and all of that, but reality for both of these two is that's not where they're at. So you get a chance to see steps and progress along the way as well, and that's certainly a fun thing to see for everybody in both of these programs as well. Captains will come out and meet here, and then we will jump into our 106-pound matchup. So still, it's interesting, the early schedule. You got a lot of tournaments on the slate for the Rebels. They were in the tournament on Saturday the 7th, as we said, at Fridley, and the 14th they'll be at St. Agnes. And then the 20th of December in the tournament at Chisago. And then the Rogers tournament, the 27th and 28th. So they are getting, a full slate of tournament competition in very early in the season.
Champlin will be green, Andover will be red, Andover 1
We should have a match, I believe, at 106 was what both coaches thought, that we would be able to present an opponent out there. Brandon Borg coming out, an 8th grader for Andover. He's a little bit undersized, but they brought him up from the middle school team. He's also a cross-country runner. Hudson Tetrick will wrestle here at 106, and a quick takedown by Borg. Trying to flatten him out here, so Borg grabbing a quick 2-0 lead here for the Huskies, looking to get a turn. Tetrick new to the wrestling world here on the varsity level, and Borg was able to quickly take him down. Borg looking for his first win, and he's looking very strong to maybe get it here early on, as he's able to turn him to his back here, and Borg squeezing it, and he'll have the pin. Not a bad way to get your first victory, as Brandon Borg scoring the W with the pin for the Huskies. And they will take a 6-0 lead here on the Rebels. So Borg, a very early takedown, and then worked it from there and able to stack him. And we're going to have a forfeit as Hunter Oakes gets his arm raised at 113 for Champlin Park. So Oakes picking up the win at 113. And then at 120, it will be John Babineau receiving a forfeit. So the Huskies will go up 12-6. And so we go to 126, and it will be Ray Morris for Andover. And for Champlin Park, Nick Covey. This will be our 126-pound matchup, and oops, we get an early incidental poke in the eye there, it looks like. Both of these guys were originally listed in his JV lineup, so they said, coaches said, you know, let's put them against each other here. We know we've got forfeits around them. We could match them up. So, you know, night in, night out, they might be JV guys, but you know, that's what you got to do to fill a lineup sometimes and see how they match up. And it's a quick takedown for Morris. Morris squeezing here, and he'll have the pin. So Morris getting the second fall for Andover, and they will quickly go up 18-6. And we move to 132. Jackson Armour for Andover at 132, and Alonzo Blanton for Champlin Park. Armour, a freshman, was 5th in the Andover tournament. Blanton last year, late in the year, broke his leg, so he came back and rehabbed nicely, and they're, you know, he's coming on a little bit for them. The junior. Tie up high here in the early going. Blanton getting a leg, and if he can sweep in, he'll have his 2. Nice job there, pick the ankle, and Blanton will grab the lead. Looks like he has a possibility of a near side cradle, but kind of gave it up. Halfway through the first period, so this one's already lasted longer than the other ones that we've seen. We've seen a couple of forfeits, a couple of pins. It's kind of zipping along so far here, but probably going to see a few more, a little bit closer ones in the next several weights, at least the way it looks on paper here. Blanton trying to pull that arm through and nearly had him to his back. Trying to control that far wrist here as we go under a half minute to go in the first period. Blanton pulling that hip and nearly dropping him over again, but Armour able to fight it off. He's been on his back for, or excuse me, at least in the down position for much of the period here after Blanton got that takedown, but Blanton unable to get a turn, and we are going to end the first period with that score remaining at 2-0. And they're going to be both up after the choice by Blanton deferred to the third period. So they'll work from the feet again here to begin this second period, our 132-pound matchup. Blanton getting in on the neck. From a tie position earlier, Blanton was able to get in and get a single and eventually finish it off early in that first period, and he's going to get a takedown here. Blanton goes up 4-0. Trying to work a tilt here. Armour did a pretty good job fighting it off, and now Blanton got a finger injury, it looks like. And I'm not so sure, it maybe didn't come out of place there a little bit. Ouch, I don't want to see that, but trainer over there to see if he can put things back into place. So injury time clock running here as Blanton You kind of see it on his face, and the referee saw right away too that he was in some pain there, as I think that finger got kind of jammed underneath their weight a little bit. At least at this point, it doesn't look like it's something that's going to keep him from being able to continue, though. They're going to tape a couple of the fingers together.
I'd like to announce that Champlin Park Wrestling is having a fundraiser this Sunday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Leanne Shin's in Champlin. Leanne Shin's in Champlin is hosting her fundraiser.
All right, looks like Blanton is ready to go. And he's going to go with the optional start here. And so Armour will get an escape. It's 4-1. Blanton wants to work from the feet again for another takedown. Blanton's kind of been the aggressor, coming at Armour a little bit here. Trying to get a snap and then shoot on him, but Blanton not quite able to get him off balance yet. Now a headlock try here, and kind of a risky one. Armour was a little bit fortunate that he wasn't taken down there. 45 seconds to go here in the second period, and a 4-1 lead for Alonzo Blanton of Champlin Park. Now reaching and getting that leg, and Blanton will have another takedown, 6-1. He's had difficulty turning him. We'll see if he might think of cutting him again and trying for another takedown. There's only about 20 seconds to go in the period, so it looks like they're telling him not to do that. And Armour reaching back for a headlock, which usually isn't a very good idea. But he's able to get up and out, 6-2. And then a shot late, but nothing more developing out of that. 6-2 Blanton through 2 periods. And it will be Armour choosing down here for the third. I think I had it opposite. Before I thought that Blanton had deferred. It was Armour that deferred. So 6-2, and he sees this as an opportunity to get a quick point, and he's going to presumably do that, as Blanton will go with the optional start, although he didn't do it correctly, so a caution. And so score the escape for Armour, make it a 6-3 match. Again, they tie up high here. But if Armour could get the next takedown, we'd all of a sudden have a really tight match. But if Blanton is able to get another one, he's seemingly kind of in control of this one. See what develops here early in the third. Certainly the most competitive match we've had so far. We haven't had many, a couple of forfeits, one each way, and then a couple of pins for Andover. Blanton not quite able to get the takedown here, and yeah, they're going to spill off the edge and bring him back to the middle, which is probably good for Blanton. He wasn't really going to be in a position to finish that with, while staying on the mat anyway. So Blanton's having a little trouble with that finger. No doubt it hurts. See if Armour is able to take advantage of that. Still really early in the season, too. You kind of find out what kind of shape your guys are in at this point, too. And neither guy's really been able to change levels all that well. There's a pretty decent shot by Armour, but he got his head down. Let's see if he can finish it. If he can kick that leg out, he'll have 2, and now he does have the takedown. Now quickly throws on a half, 6-5 score. Plenty of time for Armour. Let's see what he can do from the top position. Blanton clinging to his arm there. Trying to flatten him out and throw a half on. But Blanton quickly up, and he'll get one. 7-5 Blanton. Armour trying to take him back down. And off the mat they'll go, both up, 23 seconds left, a 7-5 score, Blanton. trying to score a win here for the Rebels, but Armour rallying nicely when he was behind 6-1 at one point. And Blanton in on a single, trying to trip him down to the mat, and nothing yet. He throws a whizzer on. Armour fighting back to his feet, both up, only 3 seconds to go now. So Blanton just needs to avoid him here or come forward and not be taken down. Gonna be tall order in that amount of time. Oh, there's a late try, but no. Andover was hopeful, but just a touch late for Armour, and Blanton's gonna hang on to win it 7-5. Exciting match there, and Armour a nice rally and just about tied it up late there. Nearly had the takedown at the buzzer, but I think it was a correct call that he was just late. Watch this as he throws the headlock on, but it was just too late. So we move to 138 now. Thomas Jones, the senior for Andover, and Joe Tolberg, also a senior for Champlin Park. Jones, 2 wins this year. He's 4th in the Andover tournament. Tolberg, a real grinder, according to Coach Marish from Champlin Park. He played on the football team for the Rebels. Quick toot for Jones, but then Tolberg up and out. It's 2-1 now in favor of Jones of Andover. See the team score now at 18-9 after that win by Blanton. Tolberg is a guy that Coach Marish just kind of got a smile on his face when talking about him. He said, you know, he may not be the most talented guy, but he just keeps coming. And he said he beat some people last year that maybe had more skill than him, but he just never stops working. He's just kind of a hard-nosed guy that'll keep coming after you. Halfway through this opening period here. Tolberg, had himself in a little trouble there, and a takedown for Jones. Trying to throw a cradle on. Tolberg trying to get to his base here. And putting that head on the side, looking for a near side cradle here is Jones. Tolberg's pretty strong though. Now he is turned to his back. Jones has him in trouble. 15 seconds to go. Tolberg trying to bridge up and out of it. Jones looking to finish him here late in the first. Can he do it? 3 seconds to go. It looks like he might survive the period, and he does. Score 3 near fall for Jones. So a 7-1 lead now for Jones. But for Tolberg, he lives to fight on here for the second period. Jones will be down to begin period 2. Trying to quickly get to his feet. And Jones turning into him here. Well, let's see, he's not quite out of things yet, but Tolberg just kind of hanging on right now. And there's the reversal for Jones. He goes up 9-1. It took a while, but he stayed with it. Stayed tight on his grip and just kept fighting up until Tolberg no longer really had control of him. Might have been a spot where Tolberg could think about cutting him loose and giving up 1 point instead of 2, but halfway through this second period now. Jones is in control. Tolberg, though, is a fighter. Trying to flatten him back out and then see if he can work from there. Tolberg is not going to give anything up easily, though, as he's back on a knee at least. He'd like to get all the way up and get that head up. Jones briefly looking to throw a crossface on. Tolberg has a hold of that leg, trying to do what Jones did to him earlier actually and drive that shoulder into him. See if he can't break this hold and at the very least get up and out for an escape, but kind of looking like that may not happen here. We're under 10 seconds to go in this period. And looks like we're going to stay at 9-1 in favor of Jones here, heading to the third. And Tolberg's going to go both up. I think he might be thinking, you know, big move here, and maybe thinking that if he went down, he probably doesn't have enough time to really, you know, work his way out and then attack from there. He wants to try and get something going right away here in this third period. Kind of tying up here early in this third period. And Jones shooting for a single there. Trying to stay with it. Switches to a double and he'll get his takedown there. Nice job. Didn't look like he had a great grip on it early, but he'll go up 11-1 now and halfway through this third period. Jones in deep on the waist here, and see if he'll cut him loose, and he does. 11-2. Tolberg is shot, but countered rather easily there by Jones. Trying to scoot around and get another takedown. Controlling that ankle, but Tolberg still has a pretty good grip on the back of his knee there. And Jones working his way around, and he'll get two. 13-2 lead now for Jones. Right now sitting at a major decision, of course, and unless anything changes real big here, that's probably how we're going to end it here. Under 10 seconds to go. And he'll cut him loose 13-3, but that's going to about run out of time here. Late try, but it'll be Jones winning it. A major decision, 13-3. So Jones coming back with the win after Blanton had won one for the Rebels. It'll be Andrew Morrell for Andover, and for Champlin Park, Theo Guao at 145. Morrell coming back to the sport after a couple of years away from the mat, or a few years. And wow, strong kid. He's in his second year as a wrestler. Early takedown here for Morrell. Trying to throw in a leg ride here. Morrell's also a soccer player for the Huskies. Halfway through this opening period here, Morrell getting a takedown, and wow, able to spin through, and he'll get a reversal. Evened up at 2 as he tries for a far side cradle there, but a little out of position, and Morrell is going to get up and out. Morrell retakes the lead now at 3-2. That's kind of the look of one that could be a pretty good matchup here, as we're 25 seconds to go in the period. Grau had a shot. Morrell countered, trying to snap that head down and work from there. Can he get around and be on the mat still here? That's his hope. And there's two. Morrell does a nice job scoring in the last 5 seconds to stretch his lead to 5-2. Boy, a great example of you don't stop wrestling when you're right near the edge of the mat there. He kind of realized, okay, I don't have a lot of room to work with here, but if he does things right, he could get it, and he did. Morrell defers his choice. Grau will choose down to begin period 2. Grau quickly up to his feet. Can he pick the hands apart and get out? Not yet. Back to the center we'll go with Grau still down. Once again, quickly to his feet. And we had pretty much a carbon copy there. Probably going to see some variation of the same thing again, and why not if you're Grau? At least he got to his feet immediately, but got to get out of there. And he will now get the escape to pull it to 5-3. Probably not a bad thing for Morrell. It was obvious he was going to have trouble riding him anyway. May as well end up cutting him loose and go back to the feet here. They both kind of got a feel for what the other's going to do a little bit now. Morrell, whoa, a little back suplex there, try by Grau, but Morrell stayed balanced and didn't let it phase him. Now Morrell looking to put a cradle on, and he'll get around for the takedown here. 7-3 lead for Morrell. Morrell throwing a leg in. Look how strong Grau is, and that's a potentially dangerous situation there, so they'll bring him back. That was first word that Coach Maris used to describe Grau. He said he's a strong kid. He's, lacking in some experience, but he's got the basics of being pretty athletic and pretty strong. And he's going to let him up here. Morrell does. Again, was having trouble riding him anyway, and has had some decent success from the feet, so probably not a terribly big surprise to see that. Wow, trying to work that head and then go from there, but instead it's Morrell in heavy on the head. Right near the edge of the mat they go, and close to a stalemate probably, and close to being off the mat as well. Now we will get a stalemate call and bring him back. 16 seconds to go here in the second period of our 145-pound matchup. And Morrell from Andover has had the lead pretty much throughout here, but it's been a good match. Still a lot of time to go. Morrell looking for a throw there as Grau got a little off balance. And he's going for the trip, but couldn't get it, and Grau does get too late. He will pull to within 7-6. A few grumbles from the Andover side on that, but he will get the takedown, and so it's a 7-6 score. Morrell will be down to begin period 3, and his once somewhat comfortable lead, not so much anymore, 7-6. See what Grau can do from the top here. And Morrell will quickly get an escape to go up back by 2. Didn't look like Grau was real comfortable with trying to ride him there, so should be 8-6. They haven't put the point up on the board yet for Andover, but they definitely got an escape there. And could hear coaches from up here even saying it's 8-6, but they're kind of not figuring it out over there at the score table. Wow, trying to shoot. Morrell goes lower though and gets in on a single. Neither guy in great position. We could end up with a stalemate again here, but Morrell's still working toward it, and now, and he will be around for two in a 10-6 lead now. See what Morrell can do here. Neither guy again has been looked real comfortable trying to ride, and he might. Yeah. Gonna bring him back down to the mat. Only 10 seconds. Morrell could really stand to just be physical on top and use the rest of this time up. And it looks like he's maybe gonna be able to do so and hang on for the win. So Morrell will win it 10-6 for the Huskies and score a decision. So Morrell, second straight win for the Huskies there.
Your final at 145 pounds, Andover 10, Champlin Park 6, your winner, Andrew Morrell. Next up, the 152-pounders for Andover, Chase Patterson.
So we go to 152. It'll be Chase Patterson against Matthew Knight. Patterson, a freshman, also a football player. 3-3 so far this year, and 5th in the Andover tournament. Oh, we're going to have a forfeit, actually. So Patterson will be given the victory. We go to 160 now. Takedown there for Zion Jesse. This must be our 52-pound. I'm not sure what I saw there. This is our 52-pound match, I guess. There is somebody handed. They just brought him back. Apologize for that. This looks like this is Matthew Knight and Patterson here for Andover, I guess. Back and forth we go as Patterson with the takedown. And Patterson will hold a 4-3 lead through the opening period. Caution there on top man. Knight's a guy who's got a little experience, and Coach Maris said, you know, he looks pretty good in the room, but sometimes gets a little uptight, needs to relax a little bit on out on the big stage on the mat there as we get a reversal for Patterson. escape there for Knight. Shooting for a double there is Patterson. And now he'll get his 2. Knight trying to work his way back up there, but brought down to his stomach and nearly a sit out there for Knight. And he's close. If he can pop that head out, he'll have 2, but so far not able to do it. Now he will be granted the reversal. So 8-6, but Patterson just about to do the same back, and he will get 2. So 10-6.
And your score at the end of period number 2, Andover 10, Champlin Park 6.
Red Ops for neutral start, 1.3.
So Knight will be given the escape. Make it a 10-7 match early in the third. Knight in on a shot, but Patterson in on a shot. Now Knight countering nicely, and he'll get 2. So within a point now. Been an entertaining match in terms of a lot of points scored. A few mistakes technique-wise for the guys, but that's kind of presented an opening for the other. And now the escape by Patterson. He'll go up by 2. Knight shot hard and low. Can he finish it off? He's close. Yeah, not quite. Pretty good sprawl there by Patterson. Tries to go again. We've got under a minute to go in the match. See who has it down the stretch here. There's a takedown by Patterson, and he's close to a fall. And he'll get it. So Patterson will get the pin. There's another look at it, and you could see that Knight was a little bit gassed at this point. So now we go to 160. My apologies earlier. I glanced down, and they were raising a hand, and I thought it was the next match, so jumped ahead of ourselves a little bit. Nolan Israelson at 160 for Andover, and for Champlin Park, Zion Jesse. Israelson, a freshman, 1 win this year. He's also a football and baseball player, so busy school year for him ahead. Jesse, a junior, and much like Knight, according to Coach Marish, in that he's got a little bit of experience, a little bit of skill, but just needs to work on transitioning from doing good work in the room to bringing it out and consistently on the mat. He'll get 2 early as Jesse scoring the takedown for the Rebels. Jesse staying busy on top, but a little bit parallel here, not really coming close to getting a turn at this point. Israelson working his way back up to his feet. And brought back down to the mat here. 30 seconds to go here in this first period. Israelson nearly had a sit out there. He's stayed really busy on the bottom. You know, he's working hard anyway to try and get out of there after that early takedown. Under 10 to go in this first period, and it looks like that early takedown might be our only scoring of the first period here, as Jesse will take a 2-0 lead into the second. Jesse will choose the down position here for period 2. Went for an immediate roll there. Israelson able to hang on, trying to chop that arm back down. Where the chin drop could be there if Jesse puts his weight too far back. And able to work the Granby roll and get the reversal. Back points as well coming here for Jesse. Don't think he'll be able to pin him from here, but he's going to get near fall points. And the 3 awarded, he'll go up 7-0. So a nice job there. Work the Granby roll and able to really stretch out this lead. Again, I give Israelson credit. He's not resting when he's on the bottom. Jesse looking like he's struggling to do anything with him from the top, so he's going to cut him loose, 7-1. 40 seconds to go here in the second. Zion Jesse of Champlin Park in control, but still plenty of time to go here, and Israelson's looking like he's pretty well conditioned. And just about had the quick little sweep of the leg there, but now trying to power him over. Jesse's not in a great position here, but Israelson, at least so far, not able to use that against him. He really could try to drive that head in the mat and scoot around, but so far it's not working that way, and they're going to be back up to their feet here. Just a couple seconds to go in the period, and we're going to end at 7-1. So we'll go to period 3, and Israelson choosing both up. He trails, but still looks to be eager to be in there, and as I said, doesn't seem to be gassed yet or anything. He maybe is, if anything, being a little bit of the aggressor right now, but it's Jesse who has shown him maybe a little bit more skill in picking up this lead. Israelson shooting in, Jesse able to counter it. Trying to keep that pressure on the head, kick that leg out, and see if he can't scoot around. And he does a nice job, stayed with it. And a 9-1 lead. It was kind of ultimately a little bit of just, you know, my leg is stronger than your arm, and if I keep kicking it forward, I can get through there, and that's exactly what happened. Jesse trying to be physical with him and see if he can't get a turn. He's got a major decision right now, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we're not done with the scoring in this one yet. Still about 50 seconds to go here in this third period. Jesse trying to get just a second win on the mat for the Rebels. They also had a forfeit win, but Blanton was the only other previous winner for Champlin Park. And Israelson up to his feet. It's 9-2, so no longer a major decision, which may or may not matter overall in the overall scheme of things, but you still like to play it that way within a match, you know, for team score purposes. So if Jesse could get another takedown again, it would go back to a 4-point win rather than 3. But it doesn't seem as though he is all that aggressive here late. Israelson a shot which was countered, and Jesse is going to win this one by a 9-2 score for Champlin Park. But a good job to avoid the major decision, at least by Israelson, by getting that escape point. We'll make it 31-12 now in favor of Andover.
Up next for 170 pounders for Andover, Mitchell Nolan.
We go to 170 now. Mitchell Nolan and Cyrus Dugba for Champlin Park. Nolan 4-1 this year. Won 30 matches last year and finished third in the section. And whereas Dugba's a pretty new wrestler, good athlete, pretty strong, but Nolan definitely an experience edge, and he will get a takedown and trying to get some back points as well, and he will. Gonna have to pull him back if he's gonna pin him though, I think. You hate to give up this kind of a hold though. He's got it pretty good. And now he will cut him loose, so score the 3, but then an escape. Then Nolan quickly in on a double. He'll get another takedown. More back points coming here. Nolan trying to take his time here to not let Dugba squirm out of it. Also not get a potentially dangerous call here as well. If he can adjust his grip, he might be able to switch this to a power half. Continually getting the count going, but never long enough to get more than 2 points. As long as it's a new hold, they'll get a new opportunity. And he's going to be close to being able to pin him here, maybe. And he'll get the pin right at the edge of the mat. Nolan scoring the fall here for the Huskies. Pretty clear he had an experience edge there and came out and got to Dugba pretty good. So a nice win for Nolan as he will get the double leg takedown impressively. And he kept trying to turn him and was getting the count going. And then eventually will get the pin. There's the pin for Nolan. We go to 182. Danny Reynolds, a senior captain for Andover, going against DJ Miles. Pretty skilled wrestler returning from football here for Champlin Park. Reynolds 4-1 so far this year, 39-8 last year, state qualifier. But Miles, a pretty good athlete. He did some nice things for that Rebels football team that finished second in Class 6A this year. Great run for them. So probably not in full wrestling mode or condition yet, but not going to be a pushover. You can kind of already see that in the first half minute here. Reynolds trying to stay heavy on that head, and he'll get the takedown and the cradle on. Maybe I spoke too soon. Reynolds slapped that on pretty nicely here. Miles in some trouble for sure. Keeps on battling. Reynolds trying to keep him from rocking. Ooh, it was close there. Miles still has a lot of fight in him though, and they're going to go off the edge. So Miles obviously not thrilled to get taken down like that, but at least he fought out of it. Reynolds is a guy that looks like he could be a pretty good finisher too, so, and he may very well still get a pin, but Miles, give him some credit for that fight there. Miles almost got around. It'll be an escape instead. So 5-1. Reynolds in on a single. Now back around the waist looking for a throw here, and he'll get a takedown. Almost had him to his back, but Miles, I think, kind of realized that he was in danger of that and, you know, kind of let the pressure off to go to his stomach instead there. And something that, you know, younger wrestlers sometimes have trouble realizing. They're fighting so hard to not be taken down that they allow themselves to be taken all the way down to their back, and he did a good job not doing that right there. 5 seconds to go in the period here. Looks like Miles will survive. Reynolds certainly dominating the period, but it looked like he might get a fairly early pin. At least that didn't happen. So Miles, you never know. You keep the match alive, and something good could happen for yourself as well. Miles will choose down here to begin period number 2. Quickly to his feet. Reynolds going to bring him back down to the mat. Trying to bar that arm now. And he did a pretty good job of it. Nope, lost it. Miles staying busy on the bottom, but you see Reynolds has got some experience to go along with being, pretty strong and athletic. Does a nice job of varying pressure from the top. I mean, Miles is working hard, and he's a strong guy as well, but Reynolds, even though he hasn't been able to turn him in this sequence, he's continued to put pressure on. Miles nearly to his feet. Reynolds able to control that wrist, though. Halfway through the second here. Again, looking to bar that arm. Looking for a little cheap tilt there, but Miles fights it off. Continuing to work that arm. That's the nice thing about Reynolds. He's even when he's not been able to turn him, he's wearing him out. And this time he did turn him, and Miles now in trouble. He's trying to lift that head. 25 seconds to go. Reynolds looking to put all the pressure on. Miles fighting. Switches his grip there. And there's the pin. Reynolds will get the fall at 3:44. So a nice win for Reynolds. Miles again just coming off football. He's going to be better as the season goes. He showed some fight in there, and he's obviously got some strength, but Reynolds is a really good wrestler and able to put him away. Go to 195 now. Aiden Winter for Andover and Arthur Perkle for Champlin Park. Winter is 5-0 so far this year and won the Andover tournament. And a quick takedown for Winter. And Perkle taken to his back here with the near cradle, and Winter has got him in some trouble very early in this match. Winter just tightening that grip. He's controlling the far leg as well, so that now he gives it up a little bit, trying not to allow Perkle any way to kick out of it with that other leg. And he's going to fight his way out of it, it looks like. So 3 near fall, make it 5-0. Now he's just going to hip him right back over and go back to work and score some more points here. Winter putting that pressure on, but he's going to get out of it again. Winter hasn't actually released the hold, so the near fall point's not yet awarded. He's got 3 coming. And he is again going to turn him to his back, and this one might be even more trouble. Winter will get the pin. Nice job of sticking with it by him. And so 3 straight pins by 3 of Andover's best wrestlers there from Nolan, Reynolds, and Winter, 170, 182, 195. And they have really opened it up here. Nate Beberg for Andover at 220. Gavin Rostedt for Champlin Park. Viborg, a sophomore, 3-2 so far this year, 5th in the Andover tournament. Rostedt's got some skill. Viborg in on a single. Rostett able to fight it off. A little bit different build to them. Rostedt's a little stockier, and I would guess he probably has a little extra weight on Viborg, who may be a little bit under that 220, I would suspect. Didn't see the weigh-in sheets, but might be one of the, probably better matchups in terms of both guys having a fair amount of skill and a little experience to them. And nothing yet here, but that doesn't mean there hasn't been pretty decent action in this first period. Viborg again looking for a shot there, but it's fought off. See a lot of guys shooting for the, leg shots in the 220-pound class. Not unheard of, obviously, but not nearly as common as in the lighter guys. Rostett almost had 2 there, but not quite. Didn't quite get all of his weight down to drive Viborg to the mat a little bit there. So they lock up again up high. 3 seconds to go. Looks like we're going to get our way through a scoreless first period here, and we will. Viborg's going to defer. Rostett will choose down. Try and see if he can't get the first point on the board by getting up and out. I think he maybe feels he's got a little bit of a strength edge on Viborg and might be able to use that to his advantage here. Rostett to his feet, trying to pick the hands apart, and does not have anything yet, but now going to come close to getting a reversal here if he can kick through, and not yet. There's 2. Rostett will score the first 2. Off the mat they'll go. So we'll see what Viborg can do from the down position here. Viborg quickly to his feet, and he'll get an escape, so 2-1. Viborg trying to shoot, but Rostett just kind of overpowering him up top. Now trying to drive that head down and get around for 2 and maybe more. He'll get a takedown. 4-1 lead for Rostett. Boy, he almost, for the second time, almost had him to his back. Viborg's pretty athletic, but he had a couple times when he kind of turned himself in a little bit of a bad spot. He'll get an escape here. So 4-2. Rostett trying to stay heavy on the head here. Viborg, I think, would like a little more separation maybe and try and work angles and get a shot in. Problem is he's got given up, as I said, maybe a little bit of weight, a little bit of strength. So if he's going to get a takedown, it's going to have to be a real sharp single where he doesn't allow Rostett to lean on him. And the period will come to an end. We stay at 4-2 in favor of Gavin Rostett of Champlin Park. You are watching Northwest Suburban Conference Wrestling on CCX Sports here. Andover leading Champlin Park 49-12. We are in our 220-pound matchup. Gavin Rostett of Champlin Park leading Nate Viborg of Andover 4-2. Early third period here. Viborg has been in the down position for much of the night. He's gotten a couple of escapes. Obviously, he could really use one here. Give himself an opportunity maybe for a late comeback. Rostet trying to slowly work his way around toward a cradle, but he doesn't have a great grip. And looks like Viborg will get up and out. So 4-3, we're going to come down the stretch here. This is probably not where Viborg wants to be, tying up with Rostet.
1 minute remaining.
Boy, next takedown may win this one. If Viborg's able to get it, he'd go in front. But Rostet has been the only guy. He's gotten a couple of takedowns and 3 escapes for Viborg. So let's see what happens down the stretch here. Rostet again trying to stay heavy on the head. Viborg, a quick glance over, looking to see how much time does he have. 35 seconds to try and get a takedown. In on the leg, but not really well, and it'll be off the mat. 26 seconds to go here. Viborg again taking a shot for a single, but Rostet's just too heavy on him, and he is going to get the takedown himself. 6-3. It was a chance that Viborg had to take. I mean, obviously you're looking to get that takedown to go ahead. It didn't work out. Rostet's going to win the match. Looking for a half Nelson, but he's going to run out of time. However, it is still a win for Rostet, as he'll become the 4th Rebel to win tonight, 3rd to win on the mat, and then a forfeit as well. So Rostet picking up the W here for Champlin Park, and it is a 49-15 score now. Nice thing about wrestling, obviously, is you got a chance to win yourself, even if your team is going to lose it. Vincent Johnson will come out for Andover. Warren Sando, sophomore for Champlin Park. Johnson, one of the captains for the Huskies. 2-2 so far this year. He was 3rd at the Andover tournament. Get a quick takedown here for Johnson. Sando's had a lot of family members that have been athletes here at Champlin Park, and new to the varsity level here. Johnson trying to bring him over, and he's got him in a position here. This is tough when you're against the heavyweight to fight this off, and it looks like Johnson might get him here. There's the pin, as Johnson closes it out in style for the Huskies with a pin here. 56 seconds the time of the fall. So Andover, as maybe kind of expected, a little more experience sprinkled throughout their lineup, and they sort of dominate this one. Rebels get wins at 113, 132, 160, and 220, but overall, mostly Andover night. They get pins in 4 of the last 5 matches, and had a couple of other pins as well along the way. So the Huskies will score the W here tonight, their 2nd win of the season with 1 loss. And the Rebels will stay winless here, now 0-3 on the season. Again, both teams in action at tournament competition on Saturday, as Andover will be at Maple Grove and Champlin Park will be competing at the St. Agnes tournament. And if you're watching this one live Thursday night, we've got more Northwest Suburban Wrestling for you Friday night, a tri-meet over at Osseo, where they'll be taking on Maple Grove and Park Center. So we invite you to join us for that here on CCX Sports. Thanks to both coaches for their info tonight here, and hope you've enjoyed the match. It is Andover defeating Champlin Park 55-15. Good night from Champlin Park.